Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. My name is Mark Roden. In today's video, we're going to be going over the 5 reasons you should and the 5 reasons you should not buy a Volkswagen GTI Mark IV. We have mentioned the Mark IVs multiple times on this channel because I am a big old fan of the Mark IV GTIs. I absolutely love them, as you guys know. And today I'm going to tell you my 5 reasons you should and 5 reasons you should not buy them. In case you're new here and you don't know how these videos work, I go over 1 reason you should, 1 reason you should not, 1 reason you should, 1 reason you should not, until we get to 10 total, 5 of each. And then at the end of the video, I tell you my final thoughts on the car and whether or not I think you should buy the car. And that's the video. Alright, media of the day is Rainbow Six Siege, my favorite video game of all time, period. I have well over too much time put into this game. I love it, and I have so much time put into the game, and I'm still only an Emerald Peak player. So, it was a waste, is what I'm trying to say. But it's still fun as hell. Even though I know playing Rainbow Six Siege is a waste of my time, it is just going to make me angry, and I'm not going to get to Diamond ever. Because I'm 25 now, I'm out of my element. I'm getting freaking swiped on by Zim Cronus kids that are 15 years old. I'm getting destroyed. There's not a chance in hell I'm ever reaching Diamond. I still play it because I love it that much. It's my favorite game of all time. I love it. Go give it a try if you've never played it already. But without further ado, let's go right into the 5 reasons you should and should not buy a Mark IV GTI. Reason number 1 why I think you should buy a Mark IV GTI is the price. Yeah, they're dirt cheap. And if you don't want the GTI for God knows what reason, and you just want a base model, or if you want a TDI, they're even cheaper somehow. But the Mark IV GTIs, you can find a Mark IV GTI with a 1.8T for like 5 grand. At least where I'm from, you can find one for 5 grand that's in decent condition. Now, it's not going to be like perfect. It's not going to be like have 0 issues whatsoever. But for 5 grand, you get a pretty fun ass driver's car, man. Like, in my opinion, driving a GTI is similar to the feeling of driving like a Honda. There's no real car out there that's like similar to driving a Honda. You just have to experience it. But GTIs are as close as you're going to get. They are really something else. I drove a 1.8T that was making some power, and for 5 grand, that guy had a steal. It was Zach. You guys know Zach. Shout out Zach. But reason number 1 why I think you should not buy a Mark IV GTI is unfortunately going to be going to the space. Yeah, for a hatchback, these cars do not have as much space as you would think. Now, they have more space than something like a Miata, obviously. Like obviously they have more space than a true sports car would of this time period, but for a hatchback in particular, there definitely leaves some room to be desired. As a matter of fact, I would say the space for a lot of hatchbacks leaves some room to be desired. You would expect them to be more spacious, but they always are tinier than you think they are, and that is exactly how it is with the Mark IV GTI. It's an early 2000s car as well, so it's going to have even less space. The cargo space is fine. It's more so the cabin space. You kind of feel a little bit cramped in these cars if you're one of the taller guys. However, reason number 2 why I think you should buy a Mark IV GTI is actually going to be something that some people might not really expect, but the reliability. A lot of people feel like every German car out there is unreliable. They're all just ticking time bombs, but that is obviously not the case. Most car guys know that because of Volkswagen. Volkswagen is actually a very reliable car company, and it's from Germany, and the GTI is no different. Now, working on them, I don't actually have this as one of the reasons you should not buy it, but I do want to mention this real quick. Once they do end up breaking, that's a whole different story. That's going to be not the most fun thing out there, but they won't break as often as you're thinking. They're going to be pretty fine. I remember we had to do a turbo, but we didn't have to. We were upgrading the turbos on my friend's Mark IV GTI, and the banjo bolt was, oh my god, it was the most painful experience of their lives. Luckily for me, I was just sitting there watching, but they were miserable. They did not enjoy it whatsoever. However, reason number 2 why I think you should not buy a Mark IV GTI is unfortunately going to be the interior quality. Yeah, okay, I mean, here's the thing. Volkswagen in general, even though it's a German brand, and a lot of European car brands, whether it's German, British, French, they have this kind of like reputation for being having pretty nice interiors. Because that's how the EU does it, right? EU is always kind of like fancy. They like to do fancy things. And that's how the interiors reflect that most of the time, especially from German cars. But Volkswagen has always been the people's car. It's always been a car that was more for the working man. And the interiors unfortunately reflect that in all Volkswagens. And the Mark IV GTI at this point is outdated. It's a 20-year-old car. If you like analog stuff, you might like the Mark IV GTI, but if you're used to a newer car with nicer interior, this car is definitely going to feel a little bit lackluster, and it's not going to have as great as you would expect. Now, it's going to be a little bit better than something like a Honda of this time period, but still not anything impressive. However, reason number 3 why I think you should buy a Mark IV GTI is, again, kind of the space, but more so just the hatchback practicality, right? Like, there's no denying the fact that hatchbacks have way more practicality to them than something like a coupe or a sedan. You just being able to have that hatch open up just gives you so much space to put things back there. Now, is it going to be as good as a SUV or a truck? Obviously not, but you can fit some tires back there, for example, if you need to. Like, that's the biggest problem with my Integra. Even though my Integra technically is a hatchback, it might as well not be. I always am struggling to fit things in there. You know, whenever I need new tires, I need to call out my buddies and get them put in their truck beds or whatever. But something like a GTI might be able to do that themselves. So it's always nice to have that. It's still like a fun little car, but with the bonuses of having a hatchback. But reason number 3 why I think you should not buy a Mark IV GTI is going to be going to the stock performance. Now, we'll talk about the tuning potential of these cars in the future, but in terms of if you are one of the types of guys that are just trying to buy something that's fun straight from the get-go, and you buy the car, you don't want to put some crazy amounts of money into making the car fun. You just want to have something that's fun as hell and fast right from the factory, and that's all there is to it. Unfortunately, I don't think this car is going to be for you. They make 170 horsepower from factory. Now, the cars are lighter with a very small wheelbase. They're going to be fun as hell to drive around the twisties, but they're going to still be, since they are still a hatchback, they are still going to have a little bit of body roll unless you start to, again, modify it. Things like the suspension to get rid of the body roll, and then performance mods to make it a little bit faster. Stock performance, what I'm trying to say, is just going to be a little bit of a letdown if you expect going into this car that it's going to be a lot of fun and very fast right from the beginning. It's just not that car. However, like I said, we were going to talk about the tuning potential, because reason number 4 why I think you should buy a Mark IV GTI is the tuning potential and the aftermarket support. Now, these are two completely different things. A car could have insane aftermarket support but have absolutely no tuning potential. Look at the Hyundai Genesis Coupe, for example. Look at the 350Zs, for example, or actually any car with a VQ35 in them. They have tons of aftermarket support, but those motors and those cars just don't want to build power. This car has them both. It has tons of aftermarket support, tons of companies making parts for it for all kinds of different price ranges for any person out there, and the motors like to handle it. The 1.8T, for example, has this little bit of a saying called the 1.8T never lose, because they love to build up some dirt cheap power. Again, are they as good as a B series? Are they as good as a K series? That's up for debate, but there's no denying the fact that they are good little inline fours to build up some cheap power. However, reason number 4 why I think you should not buy a Mark IV GTI is simply put because they are not a clout machine. Plain and simple. There are some guys out there, not me, and most likely not you either, but there are definitely some folks out there that they buy a car because they want attention. That's just how it is, okay? Whether they're posting it on Instagram trying to get followers off of it, or whether they're just going to concerts to try and pick up chicks in their car. That's what they buy them for. And if that's you, and no judgment here, no judgment on the Mark Roden channel, you guys know that, but if that is you, the Mark IV GTI is not the smartest idea for you. There's not a lot of people are like breaking their necks when a Mark IV GTI drives by, and they're not following them on Instagram either. Just wanted to put it out there in case you're the type of guy that's looking for something that is going to catch a bunch of attention. You're only going to catch attention from car guys with this thing, not anybody else. But reason number 5, and the final reason, not literally the final reason, but the final reason for today's video on why I think you should buy a Mark IV GTI is simply put the perfect amount, the perfect, I don't know how to word it correctly, but it's like, this is like the perfect time period for cars, right? Late 90s, early 2000s, that time period was just incredible, and this car was made during that time period, so it has that perfect amount of like modern tech while not being so over the top that the electronical issues are going to be an absolute nightmare. You know what I mean? This car is 20 years old, and don't get me wrong, we'll talk about the electrical issues in a second, but it's nowhere near as bad as something like a modern Mark 7 or Mark 8 GTI is going to be 20 years from now. Those are going to be nightmares because they have all kinds of different technology and electronics in them that are going to go bad within that 20-year time frame. But these cars were made during that time period where no matter what happens, no matter how old they get, they'll still be relatively stress-free in order to own them. But finally, reason number 5 why I think you should not buy a Mark IV GTI, and the final reasons why I think you should not buy a Mark IV GTI, and this isn't the Mark IV GTI's fault, but it's something I do have to mention, it's just all those problems that come with age, right? Like, I mean, we talk about a lot of 20-year-old, early 2000s, late 90s, even some 80s or late 2000s cars on this channel, because that's just the type of stuff that I like, this type of stuff that my audience seems to like, so it works out perfectly. In almost every single one of those cars, I do have to mention the fact that they are old, okay? They are old. They're going to be showing their signs. They're going to have some of the seals on the, like, sunroof might be busted, or the windows might be busted. There might be a ton of rust. Like I said 2 seconds ago, the electronics might be busted. The interior might be cracked. The seats might be torn and smelly and gross. There might be The rubbers might be broken. There might be freaking mouse nests all over the place. They'll probably be dirty as hell. They might have paint fade. The headlights might not shine as well as they used to. All those problems that are going to come with age that aren't major problems but do add up over time and become little bits of headaches are going to happen with your Mark IV GTI, and is something that you should think about. So my final thoughts. Do I think that a Mark IV GTI is a good option? Well, I think they're great options if you're slightly mechanically inclined. You don't have to be some insane mechanic that has all this freaking time on their belt, 40 years as a mechanic. You know how to fix everything short from a freaking Lamborghini Aventador. You just need, as long as you know pretty basic information, you can learn on a Mark IV GTI, and it might be a little bit more stressful than something like a Honda, obviously, but it won't be the end of the world. And at that point, yes, I think they're really good options. But for a regular person who has absolutely no idea what they're doing when it comes to maintaining a car or fixing a car, I would just recommend, honestly, either if you really want to buy some really dirt cheap car that's a 2000s car, then something like a Civic, Accord, Corolla, or Camry. Or if you want something like, if you for some reason really want a Volkswagen, maybe a Mark 6 or a Mark 5 base model instead of the GTI Mark 4, because they're going to be around the same price, and the GTIs can just be a bit of a nightmare to maintain if you don't know what you're doing. But otherwise, incredible options. Just be careful when going to look at them. Lots are in rough conditions, like I said, just due to the fact that they're older cars and they're relatively cheap. The owners didn't really take care of them, so just be careful. But besides that, yeah, there's no real major downsides to them. If you're a slight car guy, I think they're a good option. But if you have no interest in cars whatsoever, I would stay away from them. But ladies and gentlemen, that is the end of today's video on the 5 reasons you should and the 5 reasons you should not buy a Mark IV GTI. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel for more content just like this. Let me know what videos you'd like to see in the comment section down below. Check the links in the description for any of my other social medias or any of my other YouTube channels or any of that great mumbo jumbo. Yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. I'm pretty sure this video is going to be going live really late tonight, so before I even upload it, I'm going to apologize for that. I am sorry that this video is going live so late. I got caught up with something, man. Plain and simple, I had a therapy appointment. Okay, I was like going to my first ever therapy appointment, so I wanted to do that instead, obviously, than worry about making a YouTube video. And so I did, and it went well. For anybody wondering, it went great. As a matter of fact, if you're struggling with that stuff, man, reach out. Reach out and go get a therapist. It's probably going to be very beneficial. Now, I don't want to speak too soon because again, it's only been I only went to one. It's my first time ever doing it, but it seems like it's going good so far. So, yeah, unfortunately, I got home a little bit too late, and so that's why I'm recording pretty late. But sorry about that. Sorry about that. The video is going to be going a little bit live later tonight. But either way, thank you guys so much for watching. I do appreciate it. Tomorrow's video, I think, is going to be on another cheap car video. I think we're doing 18 underrated cheap cars under 10K, I think is what it's called. That's the one, but I don't know yet, so we'll see. But das vidanya, and have a nice night.